When I reached the front door, I looked at a smiling lion. It is a statue. But I still check it, sure that the lion will not just jump awake before the color of cooling charcoal is standing in my front. He is wearing white trouser and shirt. Meets the chef. Good afternoon, sir. Finally, the new housemaid arrives, he says. Housemaid, is this the work I will be doing? I am Kofi, he said. Here to work, follow me. Why is he talking as if his tongue have asked, looking him close? Are you from Nigeria? I am from Ghana, he said. Incident. I ask as I follow him inside, feeling pity. When it happened, when it like I'm mad. Where does Big Madam bring these uneducated beings? I say, even though he didn't, okay. I look around children, a boy and a girl sitting inside the picture. The boy have a long black robes with triangle hats on in the room with wood handles. Keep one white box on the wall where the cold air is climbing out from. I some of it and a small fish swimming around a light pool inside the green water.
Tina Mba, Abidare is outside of the country, but the mother is here. Can you just stand up for... If my mom had encouraged me, I'll be a writer now. Now, we have to do a bit of adjustment because the last set of reading is going on now. The musician, please hold on for us. Okay. The last reading is from Bimbo Manuel. Of course, in fact, playwright himself. Just that some of his titles are staged because of...
Onobia. I Want a Baby, 1978. It came in the package of a baby in Obiagele's small apartment. Obiagele had remained my country. She encouraged me when barrenness rose like a wall of shame around me. In NEPA, the electricity corporation, but lived like a mason who could not find work. When Obiagele complained about his stingy ways, I would say, Obiagele, why? You would not want a man who gives away his money like an aching belly gives away shit. Believe me, once it was engulfed by fire and had no money to pay hospital bills to secure the release of his wife, who had delivered by cesarean section, and his baby, both of whom were detained at the hospital until he could raise the money. When at the village, when we spent Christmas, every Christmas, he would buy goats and cows for the people in the village. And on Christmas morning, people will troop into our compound for their portions of rice, onions, tomatoes, and the meat of freshly slaughtered goats. I often worried that he was not saving enough and reminded him, the ocean. But he takes good care of us. I would consider myself a queen. My husband does not live all the same to him. But you know you are beautiful. Obi, why? I would tell her. Your beauty would make rags the fashion of me. Plus, I had given her several of the judges I had bought in that first year when things were good between me and Eugene. Obiagele would laugh appreciatively. She was indeed beautiful. She was one of those people whose smile made you smile back automatically. Her eyes lighten up her evenly brown and wrinkleless face. She liked to flirt too, and had the eyes of the male teacher. On occasion, heard other people wonder what had drawn her to the short, nondescript man. At this reference to his sexual prowess, we both would laugh helplessly. Still, my friend had the one thing a woman needed. I envied her the 2 boys she had born. Obiagele would say that, hey, Powerful men like your husband needed a few vices. But that the important thing to remember was that he always came home. She did not remind me that I would not mind his occasional misbehavior. When would that be? I would ask in despair. Soon, she would reply, confident. But she too had begun to worry. When Obiageli one day told me about a woman who was said to help women in my predicament, I laughed hard. Have you forgotten who I am? Eh? Imasokwam, the daughter of a catechist. But Obiageli was bent on a course. I am telling you, she be Obiageli, but not enough to see a dibia. I am Catholic. She said, a woman who wants a baby goes to bed naked. Onobia, The Sons of the House, one of the 11 novels shortlisted for the Nigerian Prize for Literature 2021. Fund. Instead of people who already be working when they do so, another member stood up. Umati Kweno, I suggest that the financial assistance scheme be left at work to boost the total fund available. The president called for a vote of the two positions. Asked in the name of his father. First time, please give your name. I'm an attorney by profession. Umati Kwenu. Kwenu. Kwezono. Dr. Eninta said. Elizabeth Adulike Obio. If I find you 1 inch closer, your smeared face will appear on every time. I don't mean any disrespect, Leo. I want to eat. After a while, she said, but Elizabeth will think it was her. It was because of her warning, too. She sent some evidence of their romping to Elizabeth. I do not know what happened, but I think they went on a date, and Adulike sent a photo of her in bed in a hotel with the one on the table when she barged into the house. I was in the kitchen, and we talked. He sounded like a nice man, and mostly discussed formal issues with me. I think dating him to avenge my mother's death was giving me some kicks when a car sped into the compound and someone threw open the door. I hurried out and yelled until her rage got the better of her, and she tore the documents Dad had on the table. She was dressed in tight-fitting leggings and a black singlet and tennis ball. How dare you? I screamed at her. Dad said nothing. He looked tired and shaken. He was not used to Scholars of Hatred, one of the 11 novels shortlisted for the Nigerian Prize for Literature.
Hello. Thank you very much, Bimbo Manuel. Please, a big round of applause for him. Thank you. Now we want to meet the writers. Some people said the reading was too much. Please, it takes a lot to write activity. So we have to always have patience for the written text because it takes a lot. We're setting up to meet the writers now. I told you to be by your instrument. Stand up to shake your leg or shake your body. It's a dinner after, but we can't be eating dinner here. Is it because of the dinner?
The jailer, hey, Mr. James, you oppress, every part of me, Mr. Jailer. If I die,
so people are done with the writers. When we're ready for this, they were in the room. Now they've gone into what they call Iyewu, just to go and prepare. They are wearing their Christmas dress now. So when you see them, is Rufai Ose. Rufai is occupied. Rufai is occupied, author of 9 books, and I'm sure his bio is in the program on page 10, and the bio now.
Thank you so much. Hello? Hello? Okay, good. Oh, that's what I said. Okay. Thank you so much. Good to meet all of you on the morning show on Arise TV, and I'm really glad to be here together and having an intellectual conversation and harnessing narratives. Very flat conversations, because different types of narrative to build a very robust conversation. And I'm really excited about doing this and where people are coming from, understand their story, his story, and different kinds of stories. Because the lion gets a PR manager, the hunter will always win in this and enjoy them in a soothing evening. I'd like to call on Obiaju, Imminent River, Anyele S. Yisao, a big round, Mountain of Yesterday, Tony, Lucy Chiam, Opinda Utenwa, Harry. The Return of House, Son of the House by Cheluchi Onobia Eze. Your great to have you. Can stand on the stage in Nigeria. Would you believe it? So that's the way of the world. We own the legitimacy of our experiences. We own the legitimacy of our struggles, but we don't own the world. Joining us online via Zoom. And I'd like her to tell us a little bit about her journey and what was going through her mind. Zoom, I can't see the person, but I know the person can see me. Zoom makes all of us play God. Okay, she's not to you, sir, close to me. What was behind, what were you, sir? The name of your book, your name, and you go ahead.
Particularly fascinating in the sense that I didn't start writing until just from secondary school days, junior achievement, Fall Apart, and the rest of them. Literary activities, all right, but putting the thoughts down on paper. Now said, we like the way you express your thoughts, even though not politicians, but we just like the way you tell your story. So I kept hearing things like that. Even when I was, he liked the way I told my story. He might not be necessarily fascinated by the facts I came up with Lords of the Creek. That was 5-6 years ago. It was actually conflicts in the Niger Delta. So I tried to fictionalize the story. You know, I putting it in insidious practices. Some of the very degrading practices have been still observed. Some of those things are still happening today. But because of things happening in the cities, that aspect of our society don't tolerate.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And where can we get your book?
I used to have them at Glendora, Lantana.
Done on the color books, all right? So you could go check that out. Let me come straight to you. You know, I said earlier on that Pablo Coelho, how he started writing late to himself, and he churned out great books like The Alchemist and Co. And it just shows you that you can...
For me, writing started as me being where the inspiration came from, by them and finding a means to express the idea of our different journeys in life, our problems, struggles, we rise up above them. So for me, writing is a way of just exploring different stories in life. Yeah.
Okay, so what informed your story? This book you've been, what was the back?
This is practically about mental health disorders.
Okay.
How much about it? You could be sitting down, close depression, suicidal thoughts, all of that. So when they come to you and tell you, oh, they can't sleep at night, they have worries of this and that. It's not, don't tell someone to get.
Any online,
There are
offline?
copies available out. And it used to, yeah, just
Leave without getting a book. It's really important. So let them know you went to a book party. It's really very important you let the world know. Huh? Thank you so much. So we're increasingly beginning to see those narratives. She wanted to show when society keeps on neglecting mental health. COVID then happened. And COVID showed us. And please, just ask somebody around you, are you happy? It's really important. You're wearing the shirt of the... I mean, what informed this in the Name of Our Father book?
Religious deceit. But somehow I wasn't send it to Tony Khan. I think it is good for the trash can done. So, balance and book.
I think this book, right? Moving over to...
I'm a product of my environment. I was born in the midst of storytellers, not necessarily in the novel genre, but people who, and then there are a lot of stories that my grandmother, my grandfather, my uncles told me. And then I used to say that man is a poetical animal. And we are also critical animals because we are in a society where things are happening. You need to, you don't just write, you need to buy biro to write these poetical stories as well. So you don't even know when you started writing. You need to tell a story. We all have, Nigeria is a story waiting to be told. So basically, you don't even have to struggle. You don't need to struggle. Your stories are all around you. You just pick one. And
What?
Beg your pardon?
What is your book? What's the name of your book?
Imminent River.
Imminent
River.
River.
Social animal. Part of it is social commentary. Part of it is and then there's also what I might call medical context to it all, because there's someone who, because of the medicinal formula that she had, incidentally, having said that, other question, where can you find the book?
And my book is Colors of Hatred.
Farmer?
Correct.
Yes.
So Colors of Hatred is a story about the average Nigerian family and the experiences they go through. Nigeria under the dictatorship of General Badamasi Babangida and Sani Abacha. There's a lot of hatred. So the book addresses this. And this family, Nigeria, their father became a politician and had a lot of quest for...
So where can we get this book?
In bookshops in Nigeria, paid bookstores in Lagos, you could get from Amazon, from Okada Books, and so on.
Okay. Influence your writing and this book you've churned out.
Thank you for the mature storytellers. My father, my mother, my brothers, my sisters have all been. I also come from, I have a lot older sisters, so growing up, I found a passion for reading novels, and over time that translated into writing personally for myself. So I've been writing mostly in short stories. In 2017, I embarked on a beggar on the street one Sunday morning who, maybe 8 years old, 5 years, and that was where the initial curiosity for Give Us Each Day started. And over the next couple of years, metamorphosed from what would it be like to be 8-year-old, 9-year-old living on the streets to what would it be for a 9-year-old Nigerian boy. It was a wonderful experience exploring it, living in Libya and being the mind of a child and the experiences that I had to go through. And then, like I said, during the period there were a lot of focus. There's a lot of focus on the news about the Arab uprising, particularly in Syria at that particular time. And eventually it clicked, but I knew Syria was too far. And so I said, okay, which a lot about the illegal migration of Nigerians into
Libya.
So the story just kind of fit in.
There was a part read in that book where they talked about Misrata and Ras Lanuf and some other parts out of the... and Sirte in Libya and some other parts. So where can we get the book?
It's Amazon as well. There are a number of bookstores, but believe me, they are not in my head now. But
all right, so all the bookstores. I mean, your person influenced your writing?
Thank you, and it's glad.
A Lagos boy.
Yeah, went to St. Gregory's College just around.
Up Greg's?
Up Greg's, yes.
Oh, no Greg's here. Oh, Greg.
Became a Biafran refugee, and then swore to escape poverty through the academics. So I went ahead and won scholarship, ended up designing the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library. With regards to my book is hopefully a beautiful love story. Today, a lot of young people, we have a lot of people in diaspora, and so you have a big event of interracial marriages, and then have something. The father helped him to steady himself and told him to marry a Jewish conservative girl whose father almost killed him because he wasn't happy. That he was. But I tried to discuss complex themes. Ultimately, his father told him that he would be cursed if he did not return back to Umar. You can see the ravages of the ecosystem. So, of course, this is in page 170 of the book. He penned a poem. So, the book...
This book?
2 prints are off. They are finished. So, we hopefully are going to be doing more. And then, like my other books that were published in the U.S.
Ma, who are you and what evening?
Yeah. My name is Obiano Juchukwoji. I'm a graduate of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Renewable Energy. I've always known I would write. I started reading at a very tender out from school. I got a job in a bank. I've been with this same bank for the past 16 years. I have 5 children. I actually got married, take a back seat. And when you have responsibilities to your children especially, sometimes their own needs, you put it in front of yours. So I started working, I started juggling my responsibility as a parent and my work in a bank. And I really didn't have time to write. And reading was something I never gave up. I continued to read. It was like an ace. I was having a conversation with somebody someday, and the person was like, this book, he had formed a that would, but some wasn't.
So that is it booksellers review. Who are you?
The church is for the congregants, while the shrine is. And then one Sunday, it was an apostolic church across the road with pastor naming names and calling figures. For example, I'll be sent further, and the next thing the man said was, "You are owing tithes. Don't leave until you pay." Picked up a piece of paper and started writing. Where there are stories of religious. So why don't
we get this?
Almost all
and this narrative about pastors, which we mint pastors these days. And isn't it shocking?
Yes.
Now they've changed it
to and the people are told from the and my mom was, and I found it to be a very inspired. That made me think that it was a good idea that I look at it from, and some of the things that I discussed continue to be. We have a girl and another woman who starts out with differences. Or unfortunately, those circumstances. Like you say, the book is out there in the U.S. and Canada. It's available on Amazon, but it's Okada Books. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And please, don't go buy a pirated copy. Thank you so much. I'd like to say this is the last time you're going to see them at a great price. Who's going to applause for the writers you have met? Let's just books. Buy.
Rufai was advice, but I will do it. Go. Readers, please. The readers, please. Bimbo Manu. Zoom, those who join us by Zoom. Sorry, the in the DDK place, the Parisia, narrative landscape. I didn't know when you came. To go, we're on Zoom, please. This one that you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please, the reason the question and answer was very short because this time around, we've gone through the interlocution is enough for us, and we've also feel the pulse of the books. So what we're doing now, sure that the video of this event will be available for you in case you want to engage with the program further. And in case you want to engage with the writers, their contact will be made available when to give the closing remark and vote of thanks.
Excellent works of literature, reading community. Listening people of the listening for all of us to make time. I must commend Nigerian writers for behalf of judges for exhibiting have shown that critical role in the world is abreast of the uses of the winning works. I then support the party. And to our part, I thank you also for those publications, those who build a better Nigeria. As we exit this party, I bid you all farewell. Keep staying safe.
Some gentlemen and enjoy the rest.